Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the world of Polygon's Matic, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe. Stay up to date with all the live streams and videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us down in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check that out. You'll also find a whole host of additional links down in the description below. Everything from the community-led Cheeky podcast through to Ledger hardware wallets, 𝗕𝗄𝗪 for earning passive incomes on your holdings, and of course things like the Patreon services and things like Bybit as well. So why not check all of those out? Okay, let's kind of get right on into this, right? So here we have Polygon's Matic paired up with USDT. On the hourly chart, Binance is our data source. Okay, now obviously if we kind of zoom out for a fraction, you kind of see what the bigger picture is. We are moving our way down. We've got quite a long way to go though, right? We're talking 15 cent to about 23 cent. Sounds absolutely bonkers when we think about it, but we've seen very similar moves in the space, and sometimes it moves rapidly, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and now this is unfortunately because we're unable to invalidate the bigger macro structure by pushing the price higher than 130.6. Okay, if the price had gone up higher than this dash line up here, then we would not have to go down as low as we are. But unfortunately, wave 4, that is this high point over here. Okay, it did come as high as it did, and as a result, the higher that wave 4 goes, the lower that wave 5 goes. So we've got a pretty steep kind of move to happen here when it comes to Polygon's Matic. We can kind of see the zone down there. Now we have moved down. Interestingly, we've got some interesting kind of structures going on here. We kind of see them move down here. We see the 3-wave structured move upwards, and we're looking for this move to the downside. Okay, so we're looking to see if we've started wave 3 or not. Now we did come down lower than this point over here, so this is a good positive. It means that we can now start talking about maybe starting to see how low this is going to go before we move up. I do think there's going to be a small bounce at some point here. I don't know when. I can't time the market, but let's go through what this is looking like at the moment. Okay, we're going to do some sense checks. We're going to start things off by just saying, okay, well, straight off the bat we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we know there's a 5-wave drop right at the beginning here, okay? So we know that that little area there is a 5-wave structured point. We could argue that maybe this wick down here is actually the 5th wave low point rather than this one. That's okay. Probably neater if we do take that. And if that's the case, then this is our wave 5 low point, then this is going to be our A wave up, our B wave down, and our C wave up. Okay, so this basically allows us to then go ahead and map that. So we can go 1, 2, and 3, or A, B, and C, or W, X, Y, whatever one you prefer. I'm just using an ABC as a 3-wave representation, as many different types, but we're going to just stick to ABC and keep it pretty simple. Okay. So we have that kind of corrective structure right in the middle there, and then we start to move on down, okay? And we start to think, okay, well, what's this structure looking like? What's going on here? Let me just tidy this up for a sec. Okay, let me grab this. Let me see about this area just here. We bounced up just a fraction here, then we started to fall back down. Now we came down to a 1-to-1. This basically means that this is A, B, C, or 3 waves in itself, right? We can come down and we go 1, 2, and 3, like so, okay? So we know that's 3 waves as well, nothing more than that. Now, the fact that we had 5 waves here, basically it tells me that we should be expecting 5 waves at the other end of the spectrum. Okay, so 5 down, 3 up, 5 down. That's kind of what I'd be looking for. So the question is this the right area to be kind of thinking about? And though that's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio with down here, but maybe things are not quite as they seem. And maybe there's something else going on here that we just cannot quite see yet. Okay, but for the most part, that looks like 3 waves to me, and it doesn't look like 5 waves. We have a lot of overlap. This here can't be wave 4, for example, as it overlaps this little area here. On the other hand, of course, we could look at it slightly differently. Maybe we have completed that 5-wave move by doing it something like this. Maybe this is actually the structure that we've got, and maybe it's that 5-wave structure there. Although I know in the middle here it wouldn't make a lot of sense either. But then there's many different ways to kind of look at it. One of the things that we should consider, though, is that if this is our 5-wave structured move, this area here, and we were to go ahead and move this over to this area, okay, then it's in that 3-wave bounce, then we'd be looking to come down to 77.09. Now, 77.09 is the 1-to-1 ratio. So when we start thinking about 3-wave structures, whether they are made up of 5 waves or 3 waves, essentially we'll be looking at this coming on down like so, okay, which means we haven't met that typical 1-to-1 ratio yet. We did come down and we kind of stayed closed positions, above the 786, but we went down a little bit lower than the 786 there. So that's an interesting kind of fib number to kind of keep in the back of our heads. Okay, so does this mean that we've still got more room to come to the downside? It's quite possible, right? It's possible that we finished here, we moved up a little bit and all of those kind of things. Now, the key number that we're really looking for here is the 71.23, this number here, right? This is an interesting one. This is one that I do think, actually, I just need to dash that up just one fraction there, 7709 or 7123. So basically what you have down here is the 1.618. That would be a trigger point for us to say, actually, this is not 3 waves. This is in fact trending down. And that's kind of what I would expect of wave 3 as we start to bring on down into these kind of low ranges, right? So we'll be looking for this kind of 71.23 as a key area for us. So kind of keep this in the back of our heads, right? We haven't really necessarily finished this corrective structure. There's no reason to think that we are going straight to the moon here for polygons matic, and I'm going to show you the momentum in a second as well to help you understand, where I think things are likely to go. So let's maybe think about this slightly differently. Maybe we've kind of got ourselves something else going on here. Maybe we haven't even finished wave 1 of this entire structure, and we need to come down a little bit lower before we can really start talking about it. So maybe what we actually end up with, although we can't see it yet, is that this is 1, this could be 2. We come down here into a little bit into kind of 3, 4, and 5, right? And all of that is basically a big wave 1 structure of our kind of third wave coming on down. And of course, we've been looking for changing this kind of area here that's currently an ABC structure, looking more like a 5-wave structure by the time we get to 71.23. That's a definite possibility that I think is worth noting. It's not really set in stone yet, but I'm going to just delete the fibs and I'm going to delete off the 5-wave structure as it stands at the moment, because at the moment it is 3 waves, not 5. Okay, so we're going to keep it there. And we'll see whether or not we hit these kind of targeted ranges, right? 71.23 is a definite kind of trigger point for us to think about the downward momentum. Okay, let's now take a look, though, at the stochastic RSI and the price momentum indicator. And we can see that during this movement to the upside here, we've gone from oversold to overbought, okay? So we're looking to see some kind of volatility within our hourly chart to bring us down. That could be the 7709 area, okay? Now, as I come up into the 4-hourly chart, you can see we've still got progression to the upside to be had here, so we might bounce around a little bit and still take this up to the overbought area, or equally we can just bring this back down. It's not the first time in history we kind of come out of this range and then just pull it back to the downside. For example, we come up here, we pull it to the downside, we're in here, we push up, we fall all the way down here, for example. So, this isn't a price indicator. It doesn't tell us how much a price is going to move. It's just showing you whether the strength behind a move to the upside or downside. Okay, so on the 4-hourly chart, it's a little bit inconclusive. On the 8-hour, it tells us that we have some kind of bounce we should be expecting to the upside. Okay, so we're looking for some kind of macro move upwards before we can continue the move to the downside. That's super interesting. And on the daily, of course, that's now down in the oversold area. So we're looking for some progression to the upside there as well. But the weekly is very clear. The weekly in the macro structure is very much we need to move down, and we should probably be taking stock of that situation. Okay, we can't be thinking that we're just going to be moving to the moon without really bringing our stochastic RSI to the downside. Now, the last time that we were up in this range was December of 2021. Okay, to give you an idea of kind of understanding that we were overbought at the all-time high, pretty certain, yeah, all-time high. Okay, overbought. We pulled down into the oversold area pretty rapidly. We stayed down in this oversold area, okay? Now we've moved back up to the overbought area here, okay? So we can see clearly that there's a divergence between the momentum on our weekly time frame and what's going on with the price movement. So just be aware that the macro is bearish. There's no other way of looking at that. You can't be bullish on that weekly chart, and that is going to be telling us that we got some kind of downward price action first. Okay, but we do, and I'm very confident that we've got a good move to the upside on matic. Okay, I'm not looking and thinking that we're just coming down significantly and all those kind of things. But, I think eventually we have to come down first. We have to finish off the structure. And of course, we can invalidate and we can do all those things, but we aren't there yet. Okay, so for now, just be aware that we still are carrying that bearish weight of our weekly chart. Even though the smaller time frames are giving us some confidence, we should be very aware that the large time frame, not so much. Okay, so we're looking for some volatility within matic, right? We're looking to see whether we can come down and kind of finish these things off. We're looking for bounce bounces on some of those higher time frames, such as the daily and the 8-hourly charts. But for now, we are looking for corrective action on the hourly. Okay, so do expect some volatility here. Nothing's going to move in straight lines. But ultimately, if you're long-term in Matic, I don't think you're going to struggle too much. But we are, of course, very cautiously aware that there is a big bearish structure on our weekly time frame that we don't want to ignore. Guys, I'm going to leave this video right there. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.